Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I apologize. This is a little bit late, but we're going to continue to move on. We are going to be taking apart Briggs and Stratton motors tomorrow and on Monday. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We do need to go over the chapter. I have provided lots of videos for you guys to take a look at in the chapter 1 here on Canvas. Also, I'd just like to quickly go over the PowerPoint here with you guys. There's a lot in here. So without further ado, let's move on here. If I get this thing to move forward, come on. Here we go. So what we're going to talk about is how do cars work, how are vehicles classified, why is it good to know the size of your vehicle's engine. The word automobile literally means self-moving. I have a video in here of the first automobile created by Benz. It was, I believe his name was Wilhelm Benz. Please take a look at that car. It's pretty crazy. Lots of history to do with Mercedes-Benz as a company. They not only created the first gas-powered vehicle or patented that first vehicle, they also patented the first motorcycle. So that's pretty interesting. And if you get a chance to ever get to Germany, checking out all of the different automotive museums that are there for Mercedes, Porsche, Volkswagen, BMW, they have amazing museums. And I would love to get us over there, but it looks like we're gonna have to wait a little while before we can head out of the United States. Anyways, let's keep going here. So you can take a look at some of the objectives here. We've already answered some of these questions, the difference between manufacturers, make, models, types, model year versus date of manufacture. You can see here we have a long timeline of automobiles. The earliest one was the Nicholas Cugnot steam traction engine. I think I might have a video on that. I'll have to take a look back in Canvas, but I definitely got one on the Carl Benz patented the world's first practical motor car back in 1886. Even though Ford was not the person that invented the motor car, he's the one that established the mass production of these vehicles, and of course the rest is history for mass production of automobiles. So we can see here the Model T Ford assembly line down here. So cars just are not very efficient. And this is why we are going to see that cars are going to move forward with being electrified. Believe it or not, back in the 1800s, we did have electric powered vehicles. Just the battery technology just couldn't keep up, and gasoline power was the technology that won out. But as you can see here in this slide, we put all this energy in there, and when it comes right down to it, only they're saying 18 to 25% of the power or energy that was burned in the gasoline is actually able to push the car forward. So if you're paying $3 in gas, you can imagine that $1 basically goes out the tailpipe, $1 goes into the cooling system, and $1 actually makes the car go down the road. Then when you step on the brakes, we use friction to slow the car down, and the rest of that heat energy is just lost to the atmosphere. So not very efficient. Electric vehicles are just way more efficient. As you can see there, we're like 82% efficient. So that's a big difference. The only reason why cars or gasoline and diesel works is that it's abundant and there is a ton of energy stored in the fuel. So until we move towards electrification, I guess we're going to continue to use that. But we're quickly on the way to going to fully electric. I think in the next 10 years, we'll have that technology here. Anyways, the book starts to talk about this push-pull type force. Basically, what we're talking about is kinetic energy. When we get energy, or the kinetic energy is just mass in motion. So the car weighs a certain amount, we get this thing moving down the road, and we have kinetic energy stored in the vehicle. I'm not so worried about all of this stuff right here. Measuring engine output, please take a look at torque versus horsepower. Basically, torque is the twisting force applied out the back of the crankshaft, and the crankshaft is turning all of these gears, and we're going to do that in order to make the car go down the road. Believe it or not, gasoline powered engines really aren't that strong, and that's why we need transmissions, and we'll get to that. But if you take a look at how Tesla is used, the electric motor makes so much power that it doesn't need a transmission. It just keeps going. Here we go. We got some horsepower here. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He was Irish or Scottish. I'm sorry, I'm messing it up. He was an inventor, and he's the one that he basically made steam engines more efficient, and he rated the power that these steam powered engines created in horsepower, because he was watching horses draw coal out of a coal mine, and he found that a standard horse could draw 550 pounds out of the mine, basically move it 1 foot in 1 second. So this is how we got the standard of horsepower. He was using this so that he could sell his steam engines to coal mine operators, and they would be able to understand that, well, his engine could replace 5 horses because it had the equivalent power. And that's why we got stuck with this horsepower rating. So you can see we've definitely gotten a lot better about making horsepower and torque. I mean, look at this 2017 Ford Super Duty with a diesel in it. These things are making an incredible amount of power, 440 horsepower, almost 1,000 foot-pounds. I mean, that's insane. All right, so quickly moving into this, how cars work, or how the engines work. Please take a good look at, again, all the videos that I have for you. The most important thing is that you have to understand that we're working on a 4-stroke cycle. Even if we're talking about a rotary engine in the RX-7, it still uses a 4-stroke cycle. They've messed with this stuff trying to make it, we've used a 2-stroke in the past. Turns out they're really dirty. We've tried a 5- and 6-stroke engines, and they just loses a lot of power due to heat loss. And so you can see that the 4 strokes that we're going to be dealing with is the intake, compression, power, and exhaust stroke. And please pay attention to what the valves are doing, which way the piston is moving up and down. And this up and down motion of the piston is called reciprocating. And this is why we call a 4-stroke motor a reciprocating engine, because it takes that up and down motion and the crankshaft converts it into rotary motion, which can be used by the transmission to turn the wheels. So you can take a look at this power transfer process. Please use this information in your book to answer the essay question in the chapter test. Just give me some bullet points. You don't have to go crazy copying and pasting this all. Just give me please list some of these items in the essay, and I'll give you full credit. All right, so gasoline powered vehicles are king here in the United States, whereas in Europe, diesel is the most popular type of fuel to use. gasoline and diesel in Europe is about 3 to 4 times more expensive. Diesel gets better fuel economy, and that's why you'll see a lot of diesel in Europe versus here. And then we did have diesel, and then Volkswagen got caught cheating um, on their smog inspections when they were trying to get them certified by the federal government. And once they got caught cheating, they kind of put the nail in the coffin for diesel powered vehicles here in the United States. You can still buy them from different manufacturers, but they're just not very popular. There's nothing wrong with them. They get really good fuel economy. Oh, one last thing. We're saying here, diesel engines are compression ignition engines. Diesels operate the same way on the 4-stroke cycle, just like a gasoline engine, but instead of using a spark plug to light off the air fuel mixture, we use compression to increase the amount of heat in the cylinder. When they inject the fuel into the cylinder, it just spontaneously combusts because there's so much heat in the cylinder. We'll talk about compression ratios, but a compression ratio in a regular gasoline car would be about 10 to 1. Basically, we're going to take something that's like 10 cc's, and we're going to smash it into something that fits 1 cc, where a diesel engine will do the same process, but take it from, they have like a 20 to 1 compression ratio. Well, they'll take 20 cc's of volume and compress it down into 1 cc. So the compression ratio is a lot higher, like just about double in a diesel engine. Yes, diesel does definitely have more energy, plus we can squeeze it more and we can extract more energy from a diesel. And there's some other reasons. We don't need to go crazy with diesel. Of course, here's our emerging technologies. Tesla is going to take over the market. Their stock is getting pounded right now on the stock market, but hopefully one of these days we'll get rich because we own some Tesla stock, right? So they've got some infrastructure in place. I do have some students that have owned Teslas now and in the past, and they love them. This has got like the cult following, and plus you can pretty much drive a Tesla anywhere, especially here in the United States, because of these supercharger stations. That infrastructure is in place. Okay, so we're going to take a look at, we've already done this in the shop. We talked a little bit about the engine size. Well, there's more videos for you to watch. The configuration, we talked about this when we were in the shop last week. You definitely saw this sticker in the door jamb that says the date of manufacture, the gross vehicle weight, total, front, and the rear. Here's our VIN number. Here's our different types of manufacturers: Toyota, GM, Ford. And for example, a lot of people saw the Subaru. That thing was being produced by Fuji Heavy Industries, kind of a name that you don't normally hear, but they're the ones that manufacture Subaru. So you can see here are different manufacturers who create these different make, brands, or divisions. And then the model, the year. When we talk about the year of the vehicle, we're always referring to the model year, which is different than the date of manufacture. Please make sure that you understand this, because right now you could go out to the dealership and buy a 21 model year car, but obviously it had to be manufactured in 2020 because it's not 2021 yet. So please make sure that you understand the model year is different, sometimes different, or oftentimes different than the date of manufacture. And then our different types of vehicles that are out there. Please try to understand some of these differences. This is pretty crazy. There's all kinds of types they're listing here. It seems to go a little crazy here. Anyways, our vehicles, again, are typically unibody construction, where the body is the frame, versus trucks that we have a body on frame. They're different in how they're produced. which one's better. A lot of, if for heavy duty applications, body on frame is stronger, but it weighs a lot. And that's why we've gotten away from body on frame for SUVs. That's why we use crossover SUVs, because they do get better fuel economy. Okay, and then we have different types of systems. You can see all the systems that are listed out here that make up a vehicle. And then the chapter goes on to these careers. So there is lots of opportunity in the automotive industry. And so, we have, designers, machinists, logistics, personnel, production, supervisors, assembly line workers. If any of you are going to become automotive type engineers, so with coding, mechanical engineering, you can definitely find a job, especially here in Northern California in the Silicon Valley. So like San Jose area, man, there's so many cars being designed and produced in Northern California. It's crazy. So lots of stuff going on here in California in the automotive industry. That's not just being a technician or service writer or actually just like working in a dealership. The industry is much larger than that. So you can see here different support careers. All right, so I think that's enough for this chapter. Anyways, make sure that you guys are taking a good look at Canvas. Let me just bring that up real quick. Make sure you take a look at all the videos I've posted up here. This is Mercedes' first car. This is kind of crazy how to start a Model T. The way you start and drive these things are different than how you drive a car today. Yes, we are very close to self-driving world. Take a look at this. Mazda just came out with this motor, spark controlled compression ignition. This is like a blend between spark ignition, which is gas, and then kind of running it like a diesel. Here's a see-through engine. Here's some complicated motors that, like the W motor I talked about when you guys were here. And take a look at this horsepower and torque and how does an electric car work. Really good stuff here. In fact, I'm going to move this up here because I think this is more important for you guys to take a look at first. And then don't forget to answer the questions. Take the quiz, do the study guide questions, and then, like I said, you guys are going to come here and do the tear down and rebuild of a small gas motor. If you guys have any questions, please get a hold of me, and I will see many of you guys tomorrow. Take care, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.